Hello and welcome back to Niche Tea, where we talk about drama happening in communities you may not be a part of. Last time we talked about the truly bizarre, seemingly Uno reverse YouTuber Nikocado Avocado seems to have played within the mukbang community. Today we are talking about celebrity number 6. I don't think I've had anything requested as much as this in the history of this series. And the thing that really throws me off is that despite this not being related to any specific hobby necessarily, it is still, I think, the nichest thing that I've talked about so far. As always, starting with background, celebrity number 6 is an internet mystery that has existed for the past 4.5 years or so. It all started with a Reddit post in January of 2024. Basically, they say, I have these curtains have the same repeating pattern of these same 8 celebrities, and I'm wondering if people can help me figure out who they are. As a person who wasn't familiar with this before I learned about all the recent stuff that happened, I don't feel like there's enough discussion going on about these curtains. Like someone needs to explain to me why these were made. The curtains are from 2009, so that explains part of it, and they were from a Finnish department store apparently, and no one was able to find anything really useful in terms of information from that site. Pretty quickly, all of the celebrities were lined up and given names. Adriana Lima is actually on there twice, but there was one that no one could seem to identify, who then became known as celebrity number 6. And from there, it just kind of grew because nobody could figure out who this person was. There have been dozens of theories that I have seen of different people who were famous around that same time, who were in the same genre of work as some of the other celebrities. Part of what made it so difficult, though, is the fact that nobody could find this picture. So, like, even if you found a celebrity who had, like, the right jawline, they have a pretty distinctive jawline or facial shape or hairline or any of that, finding that exact picture was very much the thing ultimately that people wanted to find. And it seemed like it was lost media. And then as the years went on, this continued to just grow and grow and grow, with more people getting interested in what was going on here and who this person was. To the point where the subreddit has over 60,000 members, and there's also a dedicated Discord for it. Over the years, there were a lot of false positives, and there were people who even came forward saying that it was them or agreed that it was them if someone brought it to them, but then that turned out to be fake. Part of me is like, why would you do that? But then part of me is like, it seems like it'd be fun. Anyway, the search continued. Some people got really, really into it. There were some really, really deep levels of analysis, especially of photographs and like matching things up and could it work this way, and people doing overlays and all kinds of stuff. So what happened? As you probably have already heard, or as you can probably infer, celebrity number 6 was found. Just under 2 weeks ago, a Reddit user who claims to be a lost media researcher posted an image of a person they thought was probably celebrity number 6. This image was of a Spanish model named Leticia Sarda. They were found because this Reddit user had been going through old archives of different modeling pictures and putting them through facial recognition software to see if they could find who the person was and then find additional hits on that person. Not only was Leticia pretty quickly recognized as one of the closest matches on a few very key things like her ears and a few other places that hadn't really been a match up until now, but also the fact that there were only maybe 10 photos anybody could find of her online at all led credence to the claim, because that would explain why it had been so hard to find her until now. Then from there, it was found that Leticia had been in a photo shoot with one of the other celebrities that was on the curtains. So there's another connection, but still no one could find the actual photo. Then someone was able to find that Leticia was on the cover of a supplement of a magazine that came out in 2006. From that, people were able to find out who the photographer was for that magazine cover shoot. Then from there, a different user by the name of Indigo Room was able to get in contact with the photographer based on the information they got from the cover of that addendum to the magazine. And they flat out said, hey, this is super weird. I won't bother you again, but can you please just tell me if you know who this is? We've been trying to find this person for years. And the photographer flat out said, yes, I recognize it. I took that photo. How did they get that photo to put it on Fabric? Because I definitely didn't give permission for that. Someone commented that that's how you know that it's real, is that they were mad that the photo was stolen, and I agree. Indigo Room then asked if they could share this information back with the sub, and the photographer said, yeah, and here's a copy of the original image. Indigo Room was obviously very happy about this and immediately wanted to go talk about it, but decided to go ahead and message some people in the Discord, including mods, who I believe are mods of the subreddit, but not the Discord, just to ask what the best process would be and like the best, should they just make their own thread or put it somewhere else, etc. This is where things get a little weird, because the mod of the Reddit that they reached out to in Discord was immediately like, oh, well, that's fake. At this point, Indigo Room had only shared the photo itself, the original, and not the back and forth in the emails and stuff. Indigo Room went ahead and posted the thread anyway, but this mod was not letting up on the criticisms, basically saying that this photo was AI, and they felt very confident about that. The mod went on a little bit of a tirade, honestly, and really went in the weeds trying to explain why all these little details were wrong. When the emails were brought up, they said, oh, well, they're fake and the timeline doesn't look right on them, even though it looks fine. Then they went into the post that Indigo Room made in the subreddit, pinned their comment at the top because they're a mod, and basically said all of it again. Unfortunately, because this person was a mod, this directed a ton of hate toward Indigo Room, both in Reddit and in the Discord, and so Indigo Room flat out just noped out of there. As always, people are ridiculous, and this is why we can't have nice things. However, once all of this information had been posted, getting in touch with Letitia became much, much easier. She wasn't actively trying to not be online. She was just very casual about it. And ultimately, everything was settled when Letitia herself posted a photo of herself, current day, holding the photo in question. Letitia had absolutely no idea any of this was happening or that she was the subject of so many people's specific focus for so many years. She was very, very cool about it though. She got onto Reddit and did an AMA that is still open if there's anything you specifically want to ask her. She's also on TikTok. I'll tag her below. Please don't inundate her with messages though. She's getting a ton of attention. If you want to ask her something, go to the AMA. Please don't send her direct DMs anywhere. So if you are interested in learning more about her or what she's been up to, she's been, I think, very gracious and open about the whole thing and easy to get in contact with. The fallout from the mod debacle is still subsiding. That mod has stepped down due to them being flat out wrong, and regardless of whether they were correct or not, they sent a lot of hate at somebody in a way that was unnecessary. But as I mentioned, they're no longer a mod of the subreddit, so please don't go in there trying to fight on anyone's behalf. They're not there anymore. There are people who are still calling for a public apology from that mod to Indigo Room, but again, they're not there, so I just don't think that that's gonna happen. The mod did privately apologize to Indigo Room, is my understanding. The subreddit is currently going through like a post-success grieving period from what I can see, which makes sense. It's the sort of thing where, like, think about like the Olympian who trains their whole life and then wins gold and goes back to their room and then bursts out crying and just goes into a depression. It's not uncommon. I'm not laughing at it. It's just so relatable. There's some really good memes that are being shared that I've very much been appreciating. And if you are someone who likes to find lost media or just is interested in this type of stuff, there are definitely posts in there of people saying this can be the next thing that we move on to. Seems like there's a good number of options of other stuff that still needs to be found. So if you're someone who just thinks, oh my God, this could have been, it's something I would have loved to do, don't worry. There's plenty of other options out there. Go check any of them out. Great job to everyone involved. Mystery solved. On to the next.